More than 1 in 10 women will be affected by mental ill health during pregnancy or after the birth of their baby. When breastfeeding is going well, it has been shown to have a positive effect on the mental well-being of both mother and baby. This short film describes one mother's experience of overcoming difficulties around childbirth and breastfeeding.
When we were first pregnant, I really wanted to have the ideal birth of the water birth in the Dundee midwifery unit, so I wanted it just to be midwife led. I didn't want any interventions. I wanted it to be really non-medical, and I had this whole perfect picture of having my music there and having Gary and my mum there, and that's what I was really looking forward to. But then it transpired that I reached my due date and nothing was happening. I tried to have a sweep, and I hadn't even started anything whatsoever, so they weren't happy with me going forward without a plan. So we had him at 42 weeks, by caesarean section. It all went really smoothly. Once we had a plan in place, I think that was what was nice, that we knew what was happening, and then we could kind of plan around that. And but we had a great night. Rory just latched on really, really well, so the whole night after that we just spent with him just latching and feeding away, and I think it really helped the milk come in really quick. We had a really good night together, just the two of us, and yeah, that was great, and the feeding went really well at the beginning. Afterwards, I did have a problem then. I think he had a bad latch on one side, so I couldn't feed off of that. Well, I didn't want to feed off that side because it was absolutely excruciating. So I started expressing off that side and feeding him the milk in a bottle, which I was happy that he took, and he seemed to take it really well, and that was fine. But then I got mastitis on that side as well. So it was 1 or 2 weeks in, so it was all full of hormones, and it made me feel so guilty because I had to take antibiotics, and I was so worried about him getting antibiotics as well. But in hindsight, I think that was more of a hormonal reaction because it was just what you had to do. It was really painful, and it was really not working out well. But it worked out really well. I'm really glad that we persevered, even though it seemed impossible at some times, because now he does, like, even at the time, he regained his birth weight after 9 days, I think it was, and that really helped to keep me going. That I was just like, well, he's obviously getting enough food, whatever's happening, that's great. So yeah, so the feeding has gone really well, apart from those early little hiccups, which didn't feel like hiccups at the time, but we did get through them today, because it made me realise that, like, as long as we're together, then we've got everything that we need, and that's quite a nice feeling as well. I had a look online. I did like seeing other people's experiences. I think coming to a baby group was really good, and speaking to other people face to face as well. Having the breastfeeding support workers on the phone. I had regular phone calls in the first week, and had the offer of them coming out to see me as well, which I didn't take up because I didn't feel that I needed it. But that was really important, just to be told you're doing a great job, and yeah, it's hard, but you're going to get through this, and here's some things that you could try. In the early days, in the evenings, I would be feeling, they say baby blues. I think that sounds a wee bit kind of like, it makes it sound a bit trivial, whereas it's actually like feels like depression, I think, when you're in that couple of hours in the evening and it's dark and everything. And then that turned into maybe 2 days a week that I would feel like that, and it became less and less. I think that one of the main things is probably, when I felt depressed like that, it was mostly you would feel like, oh, I'm such an idiot, why did I do this? Like, even silly things like if we were away to go out and I didn't dress him to go out before I fed him, and then he fell asleep, and then I needed to wake him to dress him, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that in the first place? I'm such an idiot, and you're so hard on yourself. Whereas I think that you sometimes have to just let it go and be like, right, I'll consider that next time. It's not going to be perfect every time. You can't see the future, and that's I think going easy on yourself and realising that, you know, just because you've done something one way at one moment, it doesn't mean that you've necessarily ruined your whole day, and you can certainly improve on it, and you've learned something to take forward.
If you would like more information about baby groups in your area, including breastfeeding groups, please visit the Parent Club website. This is on www.parentclub.scot, and type in your postcode and you'll find a breastfeeding group near your home. There's also the National Breastfeeding Helpline, which offers breastfeeding support and information on 0300 100 0212.